Hello, I'm a doctor who has just turned 60 for more than 30 years. I've worked with patients over 50 here in the United States, people just like me, who were once full of strength and energy, but one day realized their bodies were no longer the same. And today, I want to talk to you about something very silent, yet directly affecting our lives: muscle loss with age, also known as sarcopenia. Have you ever stood up from a chair and felt your legs weren't as steady as they used to be? Or carried a bag of groceries just a few steps and felt out of breath? I've heard this from so many patients. One of them was Robert, age 72. He used to be very active, often taking his grandchildren to the park. But after a minor fall in his living room, he grew afraid of standing up, afraid of going outside. Just one fall, yet it took away his confidence and his independence. That is how sarcopenia, muscle loss, robs us little by little. Not with a loud crash, but with small, quiet steps day after day. Science shows that after age 60, we can lose 1 to 2% of muscle mass every year. That number may sound small, but imagine this. If you live another 20 years, you could lose up to 30% of your muscle strength. That means simple things like walking in the grocery store, climbing stairs, or even getting out of bed could turn into real challenges. But I want you to remember one thing. Sarcopenia is not destiny. It's not like death, inevitable. It's a condition, and conditions can be prevented, slowed down, and even reversed. I've seen this many times in my own practice. I remember a patient named Linda, age 68. When she first came to see me, she walked slowly into the room, a bit hunched over, her eyes full of worrying. "Doctor," she said, "I'm afraid one day I'll need a wheelchair. I don't want to become a burden to my family." We started with very small changes, adjusting her diet, adding a few foods I'll soon share with you, and a little light activity each day. 6 months later, Linda came back walking briskly, her face glowing. She told me that now she could carry her groceries without asking her daughter for help. She had regained the independence she thought she had lost. You see, the important thing isn't turning yourself into someone who goes to the gym every day or swallowing handfuls of supplements. In Japan, where the elderly remain healthy and independent into their 80s and 90s, they don't rely on modern gyms or bottles of magnesium pills. Their secret lies in their daily meals, dishes that look simple, but are powerful in nourishing the body. There's one particular food I'd like you to picture. Imagine a bowl of fermented soybeans, with a strong smell and sticky, stringy threads. The Japanese call it natto. The first time you see it, you might frown. But for the Japanese, natto is more than food. It's part of their tradition, their childhood, and more importantly, a source of nutrition that helps their bodies resist the wear and tear of time. Natto is rich in natural magnesium, the mineral that helps muscles contract and relax smoothly, helps prevent cramps, and more importantly, maintains muscle mass as we age. It's also high in easily digestible plant-based protein, gentle on the kidneys that often weaken with age. And most importantly, natto contains vitamin K2, the rare nutrient that helps direct calcium to the right places, into bones and muscles, instead of building up in arteries. This is what helps elderly Japanese maintain strong bones, strong muscles, and lower fracture rates. I want you to imagine this scene: an 87-year-old man in Japan, early morning, wearing a cap, carrying a basket, walking to the market. His back is straight, his steps steady. In his basket, there are no supplement bottles, just miso, seaweed, small fish, tofu, and a few packs of natto. He eats them as part of a normal breakfast, then leisurely walks home. Not rushing, not extreme, but strong and enduring. That's the strength that comes from small habits, repeated every day. And you know what? Modern science has confirmed what Japanese culture has practiced for centuries: eating naturally, with plenty of fermented foods, small fish, whole grains, and vegetables, all of which help preserve muscles, bones, and even the mind. English, you know. When you hear this, you might think, but I'm not Japanese. I live in America. I'm not used to eating things like that. I completely understand. But I'm not suggesting you overhaul your entire diet tomorrow. We just need small steps. A little natto mixed with rice and egg, a bowl of miso soup in the evening, or simply sprinkling toasted sesame seeds on your salad. Just a small change, but if you stay consistent, it could make a big difference in your health 5 or 10 years from now. Have you ever noticed that we often see old age as a full stop, the end of the sentence? But the Japanese view aging differently. They have a concept called ikigai, a reason to get up every morning. It might be caring for a grandchild, gardening, or simply cooking a meal. This reason to live keeps them not only physically healthy but also mentally vibrant. And when the spirit is strong, the body naturally follows. I share all of this not to make you feel pressured, but to give you hope. You don't need to become an athlete. You don't need to swallow dozens of supplements. You just need to begin with one small step, one meal, one habit, one reason to get up and move. Because the truth is this: muscle loss with aging is not destiny. It's just a challenge. And I believe that with every choice you put on your plate today, you are rewriting the story of your health tomorrow. One of the things that amazed me most during my visits to Japan was how the elderly maintained their muscle health. I met an 84-year-old woman in Osaka, petite, with snow-white hair, yet she still went to the market by herself, cooked her own meals, and even tended her garden. I asked her, "What's your secret?" She simply smiled and said, "We eat what our parents and grandparents ate. There's no secret at all." That answer made me think deeply. In the West, we often look for quick fixes, a pill, a supplement, or a miracle exercise device. But in Japan, they don't chase after that. They believe in simplicity and consistency, traditional foods, natural movement in daily life, and an optimistic spirit. Let me tell you more about natto, the dish I mentioned earlier. Many Westerners, when trying it for the first time, shake their heads because of its strong taste. But behind that flavor lies a treasure chest of nutrition. The magnesium in natto helps muscles function smoothly. Its plant protein is easy to digest, perfect for aging kidneys. Vitamin K keeps bones strong and prevents calcium from going astray into the arteries. And then there's something very special: nattokinase, an enzyme created during fermentation, which improves circulation, reduces inflammation, and even supports heart health. I have a patient named Susan, age 70. She used to struggle with balance and was constantly afraid of falling. When I suggested she try adding natto to her breakfast, she resisted strongly at first. But with persistence, she gradually got used to mixing it with eggs and a bit of brown rice. After a few months, Susan came back and said, "I never thought I'd like this food. But what's even better is that now I feel stronger, I can stand up more easily, and I've dared to walk in the park again." That was the moment I knew small changes can bring big results. Of course, natto is not the only option. The Japanese have a whole pantry of magnesium-rich foods, each with its own benefits. Imagine a traditional meal: a steaming bowl of miso soup with wakame seaweed and soft tofu, a bowl of brown rice mixed with millet, a sprinkle of crispy dried anchovies on top, and a handful of fragrant toasted sesame seeds. That's it, yet it's a meal full of energy, nourishing both muscles and bones. Compare that to a typical Western fast food meal: white bread, French fries, soda, and you'll see the stark difference. In Japan, meals don't require lots of red meat or supplement pills. They use simple foods, gentle on the stomach, yet packed with the nutrients the body needs. And this is something you can absolutely apply here in America. In many Asian supermarkets, you can find natto, miso, seaweed, sesame seeds, and brown rice. Nothing complicated, just start with one small dish each week. English diet is only half the story. The other half lies in lifestyle. I have seen many Japanese elders still sitting down on the floor, still standing up from a futon every morning. These seemingly simple movements have become a kind of natural exercise, helping them maintain flexibility. They walk to the market, tend their gardens, squat to pick vegetables, bend down to pull weeds. These are exercises hidden in daily life: no gym, no machines, but lasting effectiveness. Have you ever wondered why in America many people need a cane in their early 70s, while in Japan many at 85 still walk upright? I believe the answer lies in two words: rhythm of life. The Japanese choose to live slowly but steadily. They don't chase extremes. They don't follow exhausting workout trends, but they maintain small, repeated movements every day. Science has shown that even light activities, like standing up from a chair without using hands, or walking slowly around the house, help the body release hormones that support muscles and bones. The issue is not intensity, but consistency. And I want you to remember one more thing: health does not only come from the body, but also from the spirit. The Japanese have a concept called ikigai, a reason to wake up every morning. It might be taking care of grandchildren, watering plants, or simply preparing breakfast for loved ones. When you have a reason to live, you'll find motivation to stand up, to move, to continue nourishing your body. I want you to pause and ask yourself, what makes me want to wake up every morning? Maybe you've never thought about it, but when you find the answer, it will be a source of energy stronger than any pill. Finally, I want to emphasize this. We don't need to change everything in a single day. Don't feel pressured. Just start with one small thing, a bowl of miso soup, a handful of sesame seeds, a short walk. Then the next day, add one more small step. Little by little, you will rebuild your strength. Sarcopenia is not a life sentence. It's a reminder that our bodies need attention. And when you give it care through meals, through sleep, through gentle movement, through a reason to live, the body will repay you with strength, freedom, and independence. My dear friend, we've traveled together on a journey from understanding sarcopenia to the secrets of Japanese diet and lifestyle. But I want to pause for a moment to ask you one question. What do you want your old age to look like? Do you want an old age tied to a chair, or an old age where you can still walk with your grandchild, cook a meal for your family with your own hands, and smile because you can still do those little things? The answer lies in the choices you make today. English. You've met so many patients who thought, it's too late, doctor. I'm already 70, what difference can change make now? But the truth is, the human body is far more remarkable than we imagine. At any age, muscles can still recover, bones can still grow stronger, and the spirit can still be full of vitality. I've seen people start from zero at age 75 and within a year, they were walking across the park without a cane. You might be thinking, I don't have the same resources as the Japanese. I can't eat natto or seaweed every day. But you don't need to copy them exactly. What matters isn't the food itself, but the spirit of choice. You can replace natto with lentils, soybeans, or magnesium-rich nuts found in every American supermarket. You can replace seaweed with leafy greens, spinach, or broccoli. What matters is giving your body the nutrients it needs so muscles don't waste away, and bones don't shatter from a simple fall. And don't forget, nutrition is only part of it. The other part comes from standing up and moving. You don't need to jog 5 miles every morning. Just 15 minutes of walking after a meal, or standing up and sitting down from a chair a few times a day. These small movements, repeated, build strength over time. It's like making deposits into your health bank account, and when you need it, that balance will keep you from falling. One thing I've learned from the Japanese and want to share with you is that they don't see old age as an ending, but as a new chapter, where every day holds its own value. They find ikigai, a reason to live in small, ordinary things. And that spirit is what keeps their steps steady. I want you to imagine yourself in the future 10 years, 20 years from now. You're sitting with your grandchildren, telling old stories. You stand up and walk with ease, and no one rushes to hold you. You can still cook your own meals, shop at the market, tend your garden. You look at your family with pride, because you're still a source of strength, not a burden. That is the reward for the choices you make today. Where can you start? Very simply, add one magnesium-rich food to your meal. Take a 10-minute walk after dinner. Find one reason that makes you want to wake up tomorrow morning. And most importantly, believe this: it is never too late. A patient once told me, "Doctor, I used to think old age was just waiting. But now I realize old age can also be a time to enjoy." And that's what I want you to take away from today's conversation. Old age is not a final sentence. It can be a new chapter, full of meaning, if you care for yourself starting now. Sarcopenia is only a reminder that your body needs your attention. And when you give it, it will return to you independence, freedom, and joy of living. So my dear friend, I want to close with a gentle invitation. Start today. Don't wait until you fall to think about balance. Don't wait until you lose strength to remember your muscles. Every small step you take today, a healthier meal, a short walk, a more positive thought, is a brick laid for your peaceful old age. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. If you find these insights helpful, I hope you'll put them into practice, and maybe one day, you'll share this story with your grandchildren, telling them that you chose a healthy old age, instead of letting it be stolen by muscle loss.